Hey VC, it's Nico back again after a month or so. This will probably be my last video in my old house because next week I receive the keys for my new home. So it might take a while until my next video, but I'm just here for a quickie. It's my contest entry into Jonas at SublimeMedia. His 1,000 subscribers contest. Congrats, Jonas, well deserved. Now, if you haven't subscribed to SublimeMedia yet, head over there and check his channel out. He shows an awful lot of cool stuff. Swedish, prog, psychedelia, jazz, UK, US psych and prog, and more contemporary stuff, of course. A very likable and knowledgeable guy from Sweden, my neighbor country. And this is my go at his rarest records contest. I have tried to pick something from my shelves which I haven't shown already in my previous videos. And I got a couple of new acquisitions to show as well. So let's just start. Born in 1975, I was of course young in the 90s, and grunge was of course one of the music rock genres which popped onto the scene, and I enjoyed especially Pearl Jam, and I of course collected vinyl back then as well. And this is my original UK European issue of 10. Not much to say about that record, but not especially rare, but quite pricey these days actually. I also of course have Versus and Vitology, but I'd like to show the mid-90s effort No Code, which is an elaborate release with a gatefold cover, single LP, the original labels, if they are showing, the original inner sleeve, and it also came with a couple of inserts which I'd like to show. Oh, it's a long time since I have had this cover out of its shelf. It's a trifold. And I think it was Jeff Ament, I don't remember the guy's names, but he was an avid photographer, and they included, I think it was 9 Polaroids in this release, No Code. So it was important for me as a vinyl collector back then to get the vinyl issues and not just the CD. Well, all 9 are here. Not too rare, but this is the original Yield from 1998 with the die-cut cover. And of course the original labels and everything. By the way, is the music in the background too loud? Well, that's too bad, because that is Motorcycle. Of course, I followed Pearl Jam until the late 90s and early 2000s, and bought this binaural when it came out. I think it was it 2000? I don't remember. But they are pricey as heck, even though they have recently been reissued. A nice trifold cover there with the original hype sticker foolishly stickered onto the cover, and the booklet of course. That's not much to say about Pearl Jam. Grunge, whatever that is. The last original album I bought from Pearl Jam was the Riot Act, and I think this is from 2002, and this is the original. So quite a bit of grunge there. Of course, I also dug desert stoner rock in the 90s and followed Caius and Josh Homme and his later band Queens of the Stone Age. This is an original, Songs for the Deaf, from 2002, I believe, or 3. I don't remember the year, but an original, quite pricey and scarce these days. Well, usually I do not show too much 90s stuff on my channel, so let's get to it. The 70s and 60s stuff, prog and psych. I found some collectibles which I haven't shown before, I think. First off, not a rarity, but it's Kevin Ayers, I think it's his 4th or 5th album, called Banana Moore. And nothing special about this one. It even doesn't contain the booklet, which many look for. This was originally released on Harvest, but what I have is a test pressing. Not even a promo copy, it's a test pressing. With the original matrix numbers and everything. I don't know how valuable it is, but I don't think it's too common. And I do like my Kevin Ayers, which I know some of you do as well. Some Canterbury prog with Caravan and the second album, If I Could Do It All Over Again, I'd Do It All Over You. This is the original UK Decca issue, but what's special about this issue is that it's the very first pressing, where the title is misspelled on the back. If I had to do it all over again, I'd do it all over you, instead of if I could do it. If it shows up on the camera, and it even has the very, very scarce signature by Ivan. I think it's even the only copy signed by Ivan. I don't know who Ivan is, but... So, you all know Canterbury prog and Caravan, of course. Made some magnificent albums in the early 70s. Well, I can't show you my rare records without showing you some of my original Aunt Mary's. This is a Spanish issue of Aunt Mary's debut album from 1970. Even with Spanish titles on the label. Not too common. I think I only miss the Canadian and the German version of this album. It has a different backside to the Scandinavian issue. And my introduction video to the VC, I showed some, my second video, I showed some Norwegian prog stuff, but I never showed you my original copy of Loaded, with the die-cut inner sleeve, and of course the ever so elusive poster. Let me try to show you this fragile piece of paper without destroying it. So there it is, the original Loaded poster from 1972. It has never been hung on a bedroom wall. And of course, being an original, it's on the Philips label, the generic Philips label. And that's a real sort of the Norwegian prog rock gem. Perhaps the best prog rock, hard rock album from Norway in the 70s, in my opinion. I have never shown you Aunt Mary's last album from 1973, Jonas. And by this time in 1973 they had switched to Vertigo, and this is an expensive and rare album, and imagine if it had been released on the Swirl label, how expensive it would have been then. But this is on the Spaceship label from 73. Let me just put that away before I scratch it. Well, another one I haven't shown before is UFO's second album called Space Rock, and on the spine it says Flying, and this is the original first pressing, first UK release on that tiny label Beacon Records, which I guess is a subsidiary of Decca or something, I don't know. 1 Hour of Space Rock it was called later, and in Germany I think. So this is the original UK with the fragile inner sleeve in thin paper. Okay, down to my last 5 or 6 albums, and these are recent acquisitions, but nonetheless rare albums. I would have liked to have found the British version, but you can multiply the price I paid about 5 times, but I found the US original, which is nearly as good. Now I'm talking about Arsachel and their only album. Arsachel were of course Steve Hillage, Dave Stewart, Mount Campbell, and Clive. I always forget the drummer's name. Well, what happened to the camera? A glitch. Well, this is the original US release on the Roulette. Not as scarce or rare, but still quite expensive to find in good nick. And this is excellent, in excellent condition. Quite a nice score there. Next one is a rare one indeed. It's a band you all know, but perhaps you have never seen this album. But it's The Kings of the Village Green Preservation Society. This is the Swedish version, and this cover was only released in Sweden in 1968. And it didn't do much, so it didn't sell many copies, and it's quite rare these days. On the Swedish Thai label there. It's a rare one, but I'd like to find the English, the UK edition, because this has only 12 songs. I think the UK version has 14 or 15 songs, but still a nice piece. Some krautrock, of course. Frame with their only album from 1972 called The Frame of Mine. Found a very nice copy, an original on the Bacillus label, which you of course know. And Frame were a hard, progressive German band. Excellent album indeed, quite hard to find. Now, the last two are beasts. Really rare stuff, and I'm so glad to have found them. First off, La Revolución de Emiliano Zapata. Yes, this is an original Mexican release on the Polydor label, which you have seen before many times. But I'll show you the Mexican Polydor label. In super nice condition. Mexican garage psych slash hard rock. Excellent stuff. They released 2 albums which are worth having. This and Hoya, or Hoy I think it's called. But this is a marvelous Mexican piece of psych. The last one is the most important in this batch, I think. I've grown up with the record. It has always been a mainstay, always an important record for me, and finally I found a British mono copy. And we're of course talking about the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Are You Experienced? And this is in magnificent condition for its age. I've always wanted to hear the original mono mix, because here in Norway and the rest of Europe we had the German and Scandinavian fake stereo editions on Polydor, which sound quite awful, to be honest. Now this is just a tad better than the stereo mix, but this was never a hi-fi recording anyway. So that's my entry to Jonas 1000 subs contest. Well deserved, Jonas, on reaching 1000 subs, and I wish you good luck for the next 1000 subs. And well, thanks for dropping in. Talk to you later. Bye bye.